The following podcast is brought to you by the Johners Podcasting Network, found exclusively at wrestlingwithjohners.com.
Hi, this is Brad Marcus, and welcome to another episode of Toilet Side Wrestling Talk. Today's guest is from the great state of Idaho, but he trained in Iowa at the Black and Brave Academy under Merrick Brave and someone named Seth Rollins. So let's welcome today's guest, the king and founder hero of Athens, the great Greek Theseus. Hey, Theseus, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. How about you?
Doing good. You know, when I was just watching this, do you buy like your gear like pre-made, or do you have an idea and someone makes it for you?
I definitely have an idea and have it made for me. I actually just have an app on my phone called PixArt where I just downloaded a template and then design my gear and I just send it to my guy.
Oh, that's cool. So like anytime
Yeah.
you're just laying around, you can make gear.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, oh, this would be cool, or I wonder how this color would look here and that kind of stuff.
Oh, awesome. Well, okay. Thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate you giving me your Thursday evening or a portion
Yeah,
of
happy
it.
to be here.
You're not committing to the whole night. Okay. And I'm sure you get asked this constantly, but I just want to, you're aware of Eli Theseus?
I am not.
Okay. There is a pro wrestler named Eli Theseus. The Theseus is spelled the exact same way. And I'm like, God, these two guys just don't look alike, so there's one out there. I think he's either his career's over or he's on the very tail end.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah.
I've never
Okay.
heard of him, never met him.
All right, enough about Eli Theseus.
Enough about him. I'm here.
You're the great Greek. Have you been to Greece?
I have not yet, no. I really, really want to go at some point in my lifetime.
Yeah.
But as of yet, not yet, no.
Okay, so we can, just to be clear, you can confirm that you're not the son of Poseidon.
I am not
Damn
yet,
it.
no.
Okay, that's
Can't confirm
fine.
that.
And do you own a sword?
No, I don't.
You know, one time I moved into an apartment just to rent, and the guy who was renting it to me was a kung fu person. I don't know if that's probably not the right word.
Yeah,
And he had me take delivery on 2 swords for him one time. It was crazy. Like I couldn't believe that someone could have those
delivered?
legally. So I always turned in my rent on time and stuff.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Oh, I hear some crying in my background. I'm just gonna ignore it, pretend it's not happening. Okay. You're one of the last questions about you being Greek. Does your mom? Are your parents from Greece originally?
No, my father is from Idaho, and we're talking from Greece. It's from a while back.
Okay. Does your mom know how to cook Greek food?
Unfortunately, no. My mother is from Mexico.
So. Oh my gosh! Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. Well, you look like a Greek man to me. Okay, so Idaho. How did your family end up there?
Like I said, my dad was just born there, just always been there. And my mom immigrated from Mexico when she was, I want to say 16, 17, and ended up over there somehow.
Yeah, well, how did she go from Mexico to Idaho? I mean, it was great for your dad. It worked out well.
Great question. I always ask her the same thing. She's like, I don't know, mijo. I just ended up there.
Oh, really?
Here now.
So does she speak Spanish to you? Yeah,
she's fluent in Spanish.
Oh, okay.
I am not, unfortunately. But
oh, really? Has that ever been a point of contention that you should, know your culture?
Yeah, I'm like, why don't I have Spanish? Why did no one teach me Spanish?
Yeah, seriously. Did you so your family's in Idaho. Did you have like siblings?
Yeah, I have a half sister and a half brother.
Where are they? Where are you in age range?
Oh, I am the absolute baby of the family.
Oh,
My
really?
brother's like 6 years older than me, I want to say, and my sister even more so. So it's a pretty big age gap there.
Yeah, so like when you were like say 8 years old, were your brother and sister they're just into totally different things, not 8-year-olds?
Oh yeah, 100%.
So were you ever like bored?
Not really. I hung out a lot with my grandmother because my parents worked in a potato factory a lot.
Oh,
And
wow.
so I hung out with her like 24/7, and she got me into just all kinds of just random stuff.
Oh, really? And
Yeah,
was this on the grandmother on your mom's side or your dad's side?
my father's side, father's side.
Okay, okay. Did you ever watch wrestling with her?
Yeah, my brother introduced me into wrestling very early on. Like some of my earliest memories are like watching 2002 SummerSlam
Oh,
and
wow.
just like getting hooked there, and just like that's all it was ever
Was
since
that the
then.
SummerSlam of The Rock versus Brock Lesnar?
That was the SummerSlam,
Oh,
Brock versus
wow.
Brock.
What
Yeah,
what a perfect thing to introduce that gets you introduced to wrestling.
yeah, it's a
Um,
great match.
how would your like friends or like your parents describe you when you were a kid?
Uh, very energetic, very ADHD.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
very
where
much
you had to
so.
go to a doctor, ADHD, and like
Yeah.
get medicine?
I was never like given medicine for it. Like
Uh-huh.
I don't believe in like the whole medication thing
Sure, sure.
for ADHD. Like it'll help some people, but I've just
Yeah.
never decided to take it.
Well,
But yeah,
you've obviously
very
made it pretty
ADHD.
far.
Yeah, is that all right?
So did that get you in trouble
In
ever?
school, constantly.
Oh, at school.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
asking me to sit still and just like listen to a teacher talk about math for a few hours. I'm like, nah, this ain't for me, man. This ain't for me,
W-
dog.
Were you a good student?
I was an all right student, I passed.
Okay, that's all. I've never
That's
showed
all you
anyone my high
needed.
school
Yeah.
grades after I graduated.
Yep. I
Like
got
it's
my high
never.
school diploma.
Yeah, that's all you need, a little
That's
piece of
all you
paper.
need.
Um, so what kind of things, say, other than wrestling as a kid, what interested you?
As a kid, I was big into video games a lot. My
Okay.
grandmother like introduced me to like Super Mario and Donkey Kong and everything on like the NES.
Was she like the coolest grandmother around?
Absolutely, 100%.
Wow.
Yeah, my
I
grandma's
would
the best.
I would trade a lot of family members for just your grandmother. We can talk about that off air. I give you both of my kids for
All right.
sure.
Hey, we can talk about that later.
Oh yeah, totally, exactly.
Yeah.
And so you spent a lot of time with her. Um, when did your brother? So this was 2002. Did you start watching wrestling regularly from that point on?
Yeah, like my brother was into it, not as much as like I am now, obviously, but
Hmm.
he was into it, so he'd turn on Raw or SmackDown or whatever at the time, and I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. I'm all right with this.
Had you ever heard of it before? Like your brother like turned it on?
Maybe, probably not. I don't know. Again, we're going like at the time I'm like 3 or 4 years old,
Yeah,
maybe.
that's
So like
right.
it was just
That's
a
right.
constant presence in my life.
I think I was married for the first time in 2002.
Eh.
That went south. Anyway, yeah,
Things
enough
happen.
about me. So, did you participate in anything other than like wrestling as a kid? Like, did you do sports, art, that kind?
Oh yeah, I did a bunch of stuff. I did baseball, basketball, football, soccer, all kinds of
It's
just
like
like
everything.
athletic things. Yeah. I knew from a very early age that I wanted to be a wrestler. And I was like, okay, well these other sports will like hopefully like get me more athletic and get me more prepared to go
Yeah.
into this at some point.
Did anybody know that was like kind of your plan?
Everybody knew.
Oh, really? Okay, you
Oh
you
yeah,
let everyone know.
100%. I was like, I'm gonna be a professional wrestler. We would have like the presentations in class and stuff where it's like, hey, what are you gonna do? What's your plans when you grow up? I'm like, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna be a wrestler here. I'm gonna get signed here. All that stuff.
Did your parents have any issues with you watching wrestling and deciding that that's one day what you wanted to do, or they're like, he's just a kid, let him, some kids want to be astronauts, they never do.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was. It was like, they're like, oh, he's just a kid, he'll grow out of it. And then like I'm 15, 16, 17. I'm like, no, I'm going to be a wrestler. Just trying to go like, well.
So did you, like, when you got into high school, or like as you're getting closer to senior year or to graduation, did you have a plan in place for post high school, or did your parents have a plan in place in their mind for you?
I'm pretty sure my parents wanted me to go to college and get a degree. Sorry, guys, but obviously that didn't end up happening.
Yeah, was that even like, continuing your education? Was that even something that like you even considered?
No.
Okay.
I knew college wasn't for me.
Did you have friends like in high school who knew that this is what you were going to do?
Yeah, I talked about it pretty often, I feel like, where I was like, hey, I want to do this. I'm going to go and do this. And again, it was the kind of thing where it's like, yeah, okay, pal. All right.
Yeah. Okay,
There you will.
So I graduate high school. I want to be a professional wrestler, excuse me. What did you do? Take me from like graduation till, had you heard of independent wrestling at the time?
Yeah, growing up, I was very, like, as a teenager, I was very much a smart mark,
Okay.
all of that stuff. But, like, I had looked into, before Black and Brave was even a thing, I was like, I don't know, 12 or 13. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go to the Ring of Honor dojo, and I'm going to train there. But,
yeah, like you're just going to go, like, you'll walk in and start training.
Yeah, I'll just show up and be like, hey, guys. And they'll be like, that's the greatest wrestler of all time right there. Sign him.
Okay, so you're still in Idaho at this point, right?
Yeah, 100%.
How do you contact Black and Brave? Was that your first training?
For professional wrestling, yes. There was a bit of like a gap between when I actually graduated and when I started wrestling.
Okay.
I only started wrestling. My first match was this year in January.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was a good like 3-year gap where I was like, all right, I'm going to go work in the potato factory like everyone else. And I'm going to like save enough money so I can move. And then, life gets derailed by things along the way.
Yeah.
But eventually in fall 2020, I got COVID.
Oh, and God.
So, yeah, I was self-isolating, sitting at home, 3 weeks. And I was sitting there and I was kind of like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing with my life? And so I remember I messaged the Black and Brave website. And I was like, hey, like, when's your next class opening? Blah, blah, blah. And Merrick Brave got in contact with me like 3 hours later or something.
Oh, wow.
Like, ridiculous. Yeah, I was shocked. And he was like, we have one class opening left for May 2021 or April or somewhere in that time frame. And he was like, if you don't take that, then the next opening's like mid 2023. And I was like, all right, I'm taking that.
And did you have to go, like, did you have to quit your job?
To move here? Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, let me back up for a second. What did you do in the potato factory?
Everything you could think of. It was McCain's food factory, and so I would probably put the potatoes through processing. Like get all like the bacteria and everything out. I would work the cutters where they'd be sliced into whatever they needed to be sliced into, tater tots, fries, all of that. Package it. I'd drive forklift. I'd palletize everything. Like I did everything in that factory at some point. So
if there was no wrestling in your future, would have you still be working at the potato factory?
I like to think not. Like factory work, I feel like it's some of the hardest work you can do. Like not physically, but like the mental grind of just like going in like 5-6 days a week, and it's like, all right, nothing ever changes, nothing's ending here.
Can I ask one of my stupid questions?
Go ahead, bud.
One of my stupid. There's going to be several, I'm sure, but did it smell like potatoes? Like
all the time.
Like, did you come home
100%.
Smelling like potatoes?
I came home smelling like potatoes, oil, factory work.
Do you like potatoes?
Not as much anymore. No.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, the thrill is probably gone from that.
Yeah. After you clean up some rotting some rotting potatoes, then the want to eat them just kind of goes away.
Yeah, totally. Another question. I'm sorry. Where you grew up in Idaho, was it a small town, a big town?
Very, very small town, very country. I grew up in a town of Idaho called Paul, which
Okay.
has a population of maybe 2,000 people.
Oh, wow. Did you guys have a movie
Yeah.
theater there?
We had one in the town over, about like a 15, 20-minute drive, which is where I went to school and everything, called Burley. But even then, that was only had maybe 10,000 people.
Oh my God.
So, yeah.
So did you know anything about Iowa before you moved there?
I knew it's where Black and Brave was, and that's about
That's
it.
it.
I knew
Okay,
that
so
and
what
corn.
happens? You pack up a car or you fly there?
I packed up a car, pack up, just clothes and like basically whatever I can fit in my car. And I
Mhm.
come on down here and just start training and start getting to work.
What about like where do you live? Like, did you have a place already set up by the time you got there?
So, yeah, 100%. Black and Brave will offer bunkhouses for anyone who's training there,
Oh,
where Seth Rollins owns the house and you get to live in that house with a bunch of the other students.
oh, cool. Is that beneficial? Like,
It's
does
very
it help?
beneficial. Oh yeah, it's way cheaper than a lot of the rent anywhere else in the area,
Oh, I
and
bet.
you're constantly around your other students, so you're constantly talking about wrestling, learning more about wrestling. Like
Were
I
there
couldn't recommend
any
it enough.
when you started, like your first day, were there other people starting their first day as well?
Yeah, the way it works is like a class size is introduced, usually
Hmm.
like 12 to 15 people, and it's everyone's first day, and you go through it like it's a class. There's
Okay.
a curriculum, there's like times you have to be there and everything. Like it's 100% just like an actual class for professional wrestling.
And was it like when you got there, you're like, this is the greatest thing in the world?
Yeah, you go there and you can visit their like Instagram page at Black and Brave Wrestling to actually see like parts of the facility and everything. But, like
Yeah.
you get there, it's big up on the like there are signs up. You look in like the big glass windows. There's a WWE ring. You look like at the wall. All of Seth Rollins' titles are on the wall,
Oh
and
my
you're like,
God.
"Oh, all right, this is legit. We're
Is
here.
that
I didn't get
intimidating at
scammed."
all?
A little bit, but it's more like I made it. I did it.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
I'm
totally.
starting the first steps here.
Did what was I gonna say? Were you nervous like the day of your first class?
Oh, absolutely. The first day of class is a conditioning test
Oh
where
God. Were you in
it's
good
brutal,
shape?
man. I was in good shape, but that test, it's there for a reason.
Oh God.
It's very intense.
Do
It's
people ever
very much
quit
meant to be
after
there.
that?
A lot of people quit. I'd say every class, at least one or two people just drop out and go like, "Nope, not for me. Can't
Okay,
do
so
it."
what does that first thing entail?
It's just a whole lot of like cardio and weightlifting, and I won't go too much into the specifics of
Sure.
it, but it's just very, very intense, and it's designed there to make you know, like, okay, this is not a joke. Professional wrestling, you need to be in some sort of athletic shape.
Now,
You're expected to be here.
so this is the first day. When do you get into a ring for the first time?
That happened like about a week later. You start learning like the basics and foundations of professional wrestling,
Sure.
taught to you by all the coaches there. Seth Rollins obviously is like the name that's up on
Sure.
like everything, but like he also has his like co-owner, co-coach, head coach
Mm-hmm.
there, Merrick Brave, who
Yep.
he's a pretty good coach. And then you also have Matt Mayday there, Crotch, who's
Okay.
another one of their friends that came up with them, and just some of the best coaches in professional wrestling you could ever ask for. Like you got a question, they'll have an answer for you.
Like, are these people you can lean on even now?
Oh yeah, 100%. I talk to all of them. I don't know, every couple of days, a couple times a
Mm-hmm.
week. They're constantly there for you to have. They're a resource for you.
Sure. Did was it like surreal the first time you got into the ring?
Oh yeah, 100%. It was
Did you walk
absolutely
up
just
the
like you get
stairs
there.
or did you go in through the mat?
I went up the stairs. I
Oh,
absolutely went up
okay.
the stairs.
Why is that like that's the customary thing to do and
It's just
respectful?
like the first guy went up the stairs, and so we all just followed him up
Oh,
the
okay.
stairs. That
Did
kind
you
of
wipe
thing.
your boots at all?
Yes. Wipe the
Oh,
shoes off. First thing you learn.
did you have to have gear prior to your first day?
No, you just need to be in athletic clothing.
Okay.
That's about
So,
it.
so what was on that first day or say the first week or two, what was the hardest thing to pick up on?
The hardest thing is probably just like getting over the fear
Mm-hmm.
of taking your first bump. It's not a natural thing to do. And your body's like, ow, when you do it.
Let me ask you a question here, and I've asked other people this. If someone threw you out of a, I don't know, first story window, maybe even not that high, would you be able to land without it hurting? Like, would you be able to like rely on taking a bump?
100%. I
Oh,
absolutely
wow.
believe. I have a friend of mine the other day who was saying like he absolutely believes if he ever got in a car crash or an accident, like rolled his car, he'd be fine.
You'd be
He'd be all
fine.
right. Yeah, it's just like, learn how to work.
I used to have this kid who used to drive me home from high school, back then, and he wouldn't stop at my house. He would slow down a bit. So I'd always have to dive out of the car and like I'd be all scraped up every single day because I wanted to ride home. I didn't want to take the bus.
Yeah.
All right, enough about me. So you do this. How long is like the how long does the training go like physically until you start thinking about like your character and like your moves and everything?
Something that Sephiroth said just the other day was, you should be thinking about your character, your moveset, everything, just all the time, every second of the day.
Okay.
You should always just like, even if you're not like doing anything at the moment, even before you're training, and I think a lot of people do this before they've started their career, is they'll think about like what they want to do or how they want to act or who they want to be, all that kind of stuff.
Did you have that like on day one? Did you have an idea who you wanted to be?
Not really, actually. Like I had ideas. I knew I wanted like at the time like my finish to be just like an elbow drop off the top.
Sure.
But like aside from that, I was like, let me figure this out first. Let me see like how this goes and like what other people think and get input from people who know way more than I do about all of this.
How long into training did you climb up to the top rope?
I don't remember. It's at some point. It happens at some point, but
do the trainers like for certain people and certain physiques, do they kind of like push you into you're going to be a flyer and you're going to be, you're going to be a ground and pound, like, or can you come up with your own style that you decide?
You absolutely come up with your own thing, how you're going to do what you're going to do. If you have any questions, like I said, they'll show you whatever you want to know, but it's very much like on you to figure out what you're going to do, who you're going to be, how you're going to do it.
How did Theseus come about? Like, what was the thought process?
I mean, it wasn't really a thought process. I just decided I was going to be me. Theseus, that's a shoot. That's my real first name.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, that's a unique name. You don't hear it a lot. So might as well just like roll with that. And I was like, well, I'm Greek, so we'll just go with the Great Greek. I kind of stole that because I took it from, I believe, Jim Londos, a guy in the 1930s, 1940s, called himself the Golden Greek. And I was like, I don't exactly want to rip that off, so like I'll change it up a little bit, So that's how Great Greek started.
As part of training, do they tell you, hey, go back and look at this match on YouTube or like anything like that? Do they have you doing stuff outside of like the training time, like when you're home?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Again, you're not forced to do anything, but they'll be like, if you want to like see a good example of this, go watch this match from this event, go see this here. It's just a really good way to go about things because they'll give you all the information you want to know, but it's on you to like act. It's on you to like find out.
Did the people that you lived with at the time, did they have like the same drive and like passion to become a pro wrestler?
Some did, some didn't. I mean, I think out of my graduation class 21, there's maybe 3 people who are actually wrestling on the independents right now who ever had a match. Everyone else just went back to their lives, I assume.
Does that make you feel good?
I don't really feel any type of way about it. I'm doing my thing. I'm out here grinding.
So you're not even thinking about them. They're doing their own thing.
They can live their lives. I'm living mine.
Okay. Was there any like, were you intimidated at all? Like, I mean, Seth Rollins, Merrick Brave, these are big names. Does he go by
100%?
Is he known as Tyler Black there or Seth Rollins?
We just call him by, Colby or Coach or whatever it is.
Sure.
But of course I was intimidated. Like, this is like a guy you looked up to and you watched on TV. You walk in the door and he's just there hanging out. It's like, oh my God.
This is surreal.
And you especially don't want to look like a mark in front of him or anything. You don't be like,
yeah.
Seth Rollins. I'm like, yep, hey,
Do you see guys though who like mark out when they, when they first come in and they see him there?
Absolutely, yes.
Oh, do they
thing.
last usually?
No.
No. Okay. All right. So, how long did you train before your first match?
So the Black and Brave course, the curriculum lasts for about 3 months. You graduate, and then you're free to like go there afterwards too. Like they're open, I think, 6 days a week, where you can just go in and work on your stuff and talk to coaches and people, and all sorts of things. But I actually went home after I finished my training to just like heal up. I was pretty banged up after I finished.
Sure.
I have a bruised ribs, partially torn meniscus,
Just from training?
Just from training, because you're doing it. You're professionally wrestling. You're doing it 3, 4, 5 times a week, depending on like if you're there in your off time. But yeah, I just went home for 3 months, healed up, and then I came back as soon as I could. And I got my first match fairly quickly after I came back. There's a funny story though, where I came back and like obviously I come back like, hey, you may never make it, you might not get signed, you're just here to have fun, do the best. And like I want to say like 2 or 3 days after I came back, they had the shoot with Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan at Black and Brave, and so they had some of the students there, and I got to be one of them. And I was like, "That's funny. That's just great."
Oh my god!
So yeah, it's like you go back with this mindset, like I may never be on WWE TV in 3 days, but you're there. And it's like, hey, we need some extras for this. You wanna? I'm like, yeah,
oh
sure.
My god! Now, was that exciting? Like as like the wrestling fan inside of you?
Yeah, 100%. And you get to like meet everybody there. Liv Morgan, very cool person. Tyson Kidd was just hanging out watching wrestling with us in the off time. Very cool
experience. Like cool about it, like you're not impressed, or
I mean, I'm not gonna like be like, hey, who are you, kid? You know
what
I'm talking about? But it's just like, you walk up, you shake the hand, you're like, hi, I'm so and so.
Did you
it's now like your colleagues?
So like if for your first match, did you like inquire about it, or did they come to you and say, hey, Theseus, you're ready for your first match?
Oh no, I inquired about it. It wasn't like my first match was in Milwaukee, of all places, just like completely random. As I'm sure most people's first matches like aren't where they're from or anything. So it's like, yeah, you just ask people like, hey, can I come with you to this show? Can I come help set up? You're messaging promoters. You're doing the whole thing, just trying to get your first match, get your foot in the door there.
Yeah. What town is Black and Brave?
That is in Davenport, Iowa, over in the Quad Cities, just on the border of Illinois and Iowa.
What's that place like?
It's all right. It's obviously like a lot bigger of a town than I'm used to. And
okay.
Yeah, the Quad Cities, like there's 4 towns just like right next to each other on the river, but it's a good time. There's plenty of stuff to do here. I live here now, so.
Oh, this is where you've planted yourself?
Yep, I've relocated. I live here now. I just recently moved in last week with another buddy of mine who wrestles, Conan Lycan. But yeah, and
you don't have any children, do you?
Oh God, no, absolutely not.
So
no.
Hold out.
Not for a long time on that one.
An actor, Tony Randall, didn't have his kids till he was 79 years old, so you have plenty of time.
Yeah.
And then by the time they got bad, he hit the road, if you know what I mean, up to heaven. But anyways, okay, first match. Were you told in advance? Like, did you have like a couple days before?
Kind of, where I was going with a buddy of mine there. And he maybe like, hey, bring your gear. Well, first he's like, hey, you have gear, right? And I'm like, yes. He's like, all right, bring your gear. They'll probably have something for you.
Okay.
And yeah, I had my first tag match there with one of the guys that I graduated against, Nikki Von Gavin. And it was a good time. It was a lot of fun getting my first match.
Do you remember it well, or were you kind of just like?
Yeah, we made sure to like get it recorded and everything. I think I have almost all of my matches recorded. That was a big piece of advice I got from my coaches. Like, you just want to have that stuff.
Sure. Is film study, do they stress that at all in training?
Yeah, they tell you like, and there's, they'll show you things from time to time, or like I said, they'll tell you on your own time, go look at this, or in class, they'll show you something. But film study's a thing, yeah.
Okay, so for this first match, did you have like a big move set?
No. Like they give you, so when you're going through the training, they'll teach you certain moves, and like they'll give you like a basic moveset, and then in your off time you can build your own stuff, learn whatever you want to learn. But yeah, I just had like a very basic moveset.
Now, is it up to you to pick your finisher?
Yeah, 100%.
And like you could do anything you wanted?
Anything you want.
How did it come? How did that come? What was the evolution of your finisher?
Like I just see other things, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I'll take that.
It's like do you have to worry about that? Like, do you have to like formally say, "Hey, this is your move. Can I use it?"
I mean, yes and no. If it's like if there's someone that I know, one of the other graduates from, and like a friend of mine, and like I know that they're using this as their finish, I'm not gonna use it, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's like I have no way of like, say, contacting Brian Danielson and being like, "Hey, do you mind if I use your running meat?"
Totally.
I can't just call him up and be like, "Hey there, Brian."
Yeah. But like, there's nothing like blatant that looks exactly like the way someone else does it.
No. Like the piece of advice that I got from a good friend of mine, Dion Roosman, was you could take moves that you want, but like find a way to put your own flourish on it. Find a way to make it your own, so that way it's unique and it's yours.
Is that fun?
Of course,
going
you always
through that
want
process?
to put your own stuff on. Oh, absolutely. I remember I had a conversation with my coaches about, I don't know, I want to say a month or two ago, where we're all just like, hey, what would be a good finish for me? And then me, a couple of coaches, a couple of graduates, we're all just brainstorming and trying stuff out in the ring and seeing what works and what doesn't.
Did you have to like put on weight, or like did you have to go to like the gym every day and work out?
Yeah, absolutely.
Was that something that you were used to like prior to wrestling?
Yeah, like I said, I'd competed in sports before, and so like I was used to weightlifting and cardio work and everything. So it wasn't too bad of a transition.
And did you have to, what about weight gain?
Weight gain, I actually very much struggle with gaining weight. Like I think naturally, like if I wasn't a professional wrestler, I'd probably be like 130, 140 pounds naturally.
Geez.
Oh
so
yeah.
you have to force yourself to eat?
Absolutely. I have to eat like 4,000 calories a day just to get to like 180. So
okay, numbers don't mean anything in this brain. It's damaged. 4,000 calories. What is that? What foods get you that 4,000 for a day?
For me, a lot of fast food. I luckily have very high metabolism. I don't put on fat very easily or any kind of weight, and so I can just basically inhale whatever I want, and I'll be pretty all right.
So what's your favorite fast food?
Well, right now, probably Chipotle,
Chipotle, okay, that's safe.
Yeah, it's more healthier foods than like a McDonald's per se.
Yeah. Do you ever go to like Chick-fil-A?
Absolutely. I go everywhere. Chick-fil-A, Wendy's, a McDonald's, a Taco Bell. Especially like after a show, it's like, hey, what's open? We're hungry.
Yeah. And how far do you wrestle in Iowa?
I wrestle wherever I can get a booking.
To be perfectly honest with you. Is that stressful finding booking?
Yes and no. You're always looking to get booked. You're always like reaching out and talking to people, but usually what I'll do is I'll just go with other graduates to where they're wrestling, wherever they've been booked. And it's very much just like everyone kind of helps each other kind of thing, where they'll help you get booked. I remember the farthest I've wrestled is over in Lyons, Georgia, which is like on the border of Florida almost. And I got that. We did drive there. Me, Dion Roosman, and another friend of ours, Xander Killen. I got hit up like 2 hours notice, like, hey, we're going to Georgia. There's a spot in the car if you want it. You want to come? And I'm like, absolutely, I want to come. Like, I could wrestle? Sure, I'm down. Let's go.
And are those like traveling around with like your buddies? Are those some of like the best times of being a pro wrestler?
Oh, absolutely. Like nothing obviously compares to being in the ring in front of a crowd and doing what you love. But like driving there and back, you form really good friendships with a lot of people where it's just in great memories of just being on the road 5, 6, 7, 8 hours with a bunch of guys.
Do you have like a shoot job?
I do have a shoot job, yeah.
Do they know that you're a pro wrestler?
Yeah, everyone there knows. Me and, like I said, another buddy of mine, Shane Boucher, got me a job at where I'm at now.
Okay.
And we're just like, yeah, we're wrestlers. That's what we do.
And are they good about like schedule flexibility?
100%, yeah. It's just like, hey, I need weekends off. I need this day off.
Is everyone scared of you and your friend at work?
No.
No, okay, okay. Just making sure. No one's ever
Yeah.
been scared by me. So just asking you, of course. Um, have you ever woken up on like the day of a show and you're like, ugh, I don't want to wrestle tonight?
Not really. I'll just get very nervous about it, maybe, and I'll
Oh,
just
you
be
so
like,
you so you're still like, is there any what's your like match day routine? Like you wake up in the morning, what happens?
you wake up. I personally have like very bad anxiety on show days because I'm like,
Oh God.
I don't want to mess up.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like,
of course.
I get up, grab my bag that I'd packed the night before, just go meet up with whoever else I'm riding with that day, and
Uh-huh.
we'll go to just like a gas station, get our energy drinks and like maybe some snacks, and then just hit the road, and we're on the way.
And some of these times, like, do they ever like when you go on the road, do they ever make you set up a ring?
Oh, 100%. That's part of what you do. You get there, you set up the ring, you pay your dues. Maybe you get on a
Yeah.
show, maybe you don't, but it's what it is.
How early on in your training did they show you how to set up a ring? Was that one of the first things?
Absolutely. Very, very early on. So our coaches, Merrick Brave and
Hmm.
Matt Cross Mayday,
Hmm.
run a promotion in Iowa called SCW, and
Okay.
you're required to help out at those shows and help set up rings and do everything. It's very much like you pay your dues, you
Hmm.
learn what you're doing in wrestling, you learn how to set up a ring, all of that stuff, and your security for those events, the whole shebang.
Can you could you put up a ring by yourself if need be?
I mean, it would take a while, but yeah, I
When
have a
you have
funny
a
story
full
about that actually.
when you have a full crew, how long does it take to put up a ring?
Not long, maybe I don't know, 30 minutes to an hour if you've
Oh,
got like a
okay.
full like 15 people working on it.
Has your family made their way out to Iowa?
They came and visited me once. It wasn't like when I had a booking or anything. They were just like, "Hey, we want to come see you," and I was like, "Yeah, sure."
Did they like it there?
Yeah, I think they enjoyed their time here. They were here for 3 or 4 days.
Were they like, I could see myself settling down here? And you're like, no, 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 no. Just go back to Idaho.
Pretty much, yeah. But I
Yeah,
was like,
okay.
like houses are pretty cheap, like two
Yeah,
hours from
totally. Get
here.
a second
And I
home.
was like, "Hey, no."
We could all live together again.
Yeah, live
Uh,
together. And I'm like, "Oh, good on that."
have they seen you wrestle live?
They have not, no.
Is that something, is that on purpose?
It just hasn't happened yet. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
from where I live back home in Idaho to here in Iowa, it's like a 23-hour drive.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, I have, I'm not gonna say too much, but I think that'll happen by the end of the year.
Do you like are there promotions in Idaho?
There's one. There's a
Okay.
single one that I'm aware of, Wrestle Club.
How far away from it from where you grew up was this place?
About 2 hours. It wasn't there when I was growing up. They have popped
Oh,
up only very recently in the last couple of years. So
so do you intend to kind of work on the West Coast at all?
at some point, I think it'd be cool to get out there, but like I said, I've been wrestling maybe 6, 7 months, so I
Hmm.
can't exactly just like call up any promotion I
Yeah,
want and be like,
totally.
"Hey, I'm coming through. You guys want to book me?
Yeah,
I'll be
I'm
there."
giving you one chance.
Yeah, okay,
Uh,
exactly.
but do you feel any pressure to like promote yourself like on social media?
100%. I mean, there's so much saturation in the wrestling business now.
Yeah,
You got to put yourself out there and be posting things, posting highlight tapes, post whatever you can to try and like get a following and try to make a name for yourself out there.
sure. Um, and do you ever like feel like, oh, I didn't post today, like it's the end of the world, or you're
Not
not
maybe
doing
not to
it
that
every day?
extent. Yeah, but it's just like I gotta find content. I gotta find something to post. I gotta figure out something to do today that I could post about.
Like you're on Twitter and you see one of your buddies like posting, oh shit, I got to do this too, I
Yeah,
guess.
100%, 100%. I'm like I gotta figure out something to do.
Let me ask you a question. I know this is early on, but what's the best thing about being a pro wrestler? I'm sure there's a zillion things, but what's one of like the things?
Being in front of a crowd, man. I mean, you hear a lot of people say that there's nothing else like it. And you're like, yeah, okay, sure, but there really is nothing like being in front of a crowd and wrestling. Having
Yeah.
people like chanting your name, like there's absolutely nothing in the world like it.
Do you ever think back like to when you were a little kid and like, wow, like that little kid who saw, SummerSlam 2002 when he was like 3 or 4 years old. I'm a pro wrestler now. Like, do you ever think about that? Like, is that like saying, oh, I accomplished my goal, even if my career ended today?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say I accomplished my goal quite yet.
No, but I'm saying like
to end today. But yeah,
yeah,
that kid, I think he'd be pretty happy with where he ended up.
Okay, and like, is your family like proud of you?
Yeah, I talk to them quite often, and I think like just today or yesterday, my mom asked like what I'm doing today, and like I told her like I'm doing this, and I told her like I had like a podcast I was doing, and she's like, "Oh wow, I'm so proud of you. Keep doing your best." And I was like, "Thanks, mom," but you know how it is.
Yeah, totally. But so they're big fans of yours.
Yeah, they're very supportive.
You're one of their favorite wrestlers.
I'm one of their favorite wrestlers.
One of their favorite.
Yeah. Me, Brock Lesnar, Shawn Michaels. That's the list right there.
Totally. Yeah, that's your crew. So do you have, I imagine you have your day job, you have training, you have working out, you have getting on the road and doing matches. Do you ever have time to just sit around and play video games for 6 hours?
No, absolutely not. I have like one day to myself where I'm not required to be doing something or not on the road.
Yeah.
And like even that day, I'm like, well, I'm gonna go hang out with the boys at the gym and over a slice of bread, and we'll just hang out and do that. It's very much a time-consuming life.
Yeah. Do you like crave free time at all, or not yet?
Not really. I'm loving what I'm doing. I'm enjoying my life doing this. I wouldn't trade it for anything. And so, it's part of the grind, man. You got to be into it. You got to be willing to do anything and everything and sacrifice your free time. Some people want it and some people don't.
So you're driving to Terre Haute this weekend?
Yeah, I'll be out there on Saturday. Yep.
Yep, at New Wave Pro, correct?
Yeah, me and Solomon Tupu will be hopping in a car and heading on down there and having some fun.
And you're wrestling Jacques
Kennedy.
Jacques Kennedy, yeah, that's right. Oh, for the belt.
For the belt, yeah. My second match at New Wave. Got myself a title shot, and we'll see what happens.
That's impressive. That's pretty good. Have you ever met him before?
Yeah, we've met a few times. Nothing beyond just like, hey, I'm so and so. How are you doing? Good to see you. It's not like we're like tight friends or anything, but I've met him. I know who he is.
Do you have to like go on YouTube or IWTV and study him?
Some people do. Yeah, I usually like to if I can find anything, I'll look up my opponents and just like see what they do. But a lot of the times, like you go to a show, you might not know who you're facing, and so you'll just show up. It's just part of the game, man. It's just what you got to be able to do. You show up, meet the person you're working, say hi, I'm this person, and you just go about doing your business.
So you'll drive to Terre Haute, then you just go straight back.
Yeah, we'll drive out to Terre Haute. We'll have our match. We'll hang out to the end of the show. Tear the ring down, maybe. Well, you always tear the ring down, but and then after that, go grab some food and then get back on the road and get home at 1, 2 in the morning.
Oh, geez. Do you ever have to do the driving?
Yeah.
Like, are you ever the driver?
Driving. Yeah. You switch out. You got to rotate that.
Okay. And does everybody kind of eat the same thing too?
Yeah, pretty much. You just agree on where you're going to go.
What's open.
Go to that place, get your food, get on out.
And okay, let me ask you this. So if you weren't a pro wrestler, do you think you'd be at the potato factory for life?
Not for life. I couldn't do that for life. No, I'd find something. Anything.
Do you think you would have left Idaho?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I, at some point would have been like, nah, I got to get out of here.
Do you still have friends back at home?
A few, yeah, just people that like I worked with at the potato factory. We'll talk like every now and then, but like it's very hard and like you forget about a bit, which like is kind of a shame and like I feel really bad about saying, but it's like you're constantly doing this and you're on this grind and stuff, and then it's like, oh, I haven't talked to you in like a month or 2 months or however long it's been. Sorry, time flies just when you're constantly busy and doing things.
Do you ever get like discouraged? Like, am I gonna make it? Or
100%, like I'll go out there and I'll have a match and I'll be like, yeah, that was great. And like, I'll even look at the same match back later and I was like, that was awful. What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing.
How do you overcome those feelings? Because I think I would crumble.
You just get back in the ring, just keep doing it, keep working on it and just do your best. Keep trying to get better.
Do you have people who will criticize, critique your in-ring work and be
Oh,
honest with
absolutely.
you about it?
100%, 100%. Like I can talk to any of my coaches, send them my match, and just they'll critique it. I have friends who I'll be like, "Hey, what'd you think of this?" They'll have if
Yeah.
friends are at the show, they'll watch the match and be like, "Hey, this was good. This was bad. I don't think this was like could have been done better." I remember I sent a match to Seth Rollins. I'm like, I didn't even think about it, but it was like on a Monday before Raw. Like
Yeah.
he's
Oh,
doing
yeah,
stuff, and like
totally.
I just sent him match, and like he got back to me like 15-20 minutes later, and like we
Wow.
just had like an in-depth conversation about like me, my character, how the match could have gone, all kinds of stuff. And he's a very, very great coach, very good person to have as a resource.
That's amazing.
Oh yeah.
So ideally, what's going to happen over the next year for you?
Next year, I just keep showing up, keep grinding. I'll get my opportunities, and I'll make a name for myself. Just keep working, getting on independent shows, and keep having great matches.
Yeah, so it's just getting your whole resume, just getting as many places on there. Are there places that you've wrestled and you're like, I'm not going to wrestle there again? You
I
don't have
wouldn't
to
say there's places
specify
where I'm like,
anything.
yeah, I don't know. I'm not obviously. I would be like this piece of
Yeah,
shit place,
totally.
But they're like there's places you'll go and you're like, I don't know if that was worth the trip, but
But
most of
then
the time, like
there's
if you get there and you wrestle, and it's almost always worth it just getting your match and being like, I got another rep in.
Do you go online and look for promotions and and see what's
Absolutely,
going on with them?
100%. Like you message a lot of promotions when you starting out. You can message 100 promotions and 99 of them will leave you on red. But that one that answers like, hey, how are you? It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, so those other 99, do you follow up? You know what I mean? Like, do you send like another email or reach out to them again? Or it's like, all right,
Yeah,
I put
you give
one
it some
out there and
time. You give it some time, you message them again, or, just show up. Show up at call time, be like, hey, I'm here to help set up the ring. I was trained by so-and-so. I'm a professional wrestler. And
oh,
just put
okay.
your
And you
dues
bring
in
your
and keep
gear with
working.
you every time?
Absolutely. Always bring
Okay.
your gear with you. You never know when you might get a shot.
Do you ever wear your gear under your clothing like Superman?
No, I do not
No.
do that. No.
No, like this and like
Yeah.
bare chested. Okay. So I've learned a lot about you today. And I'm going to be at the show on Saturday. So
Awesome. Look forward to
no
meeting you there.
pressure, obviously, no
Yeah.
pressure. I'll support anything you do. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, oh, actually, after the show, the New Wave Pro show, do you have other things booked in the next coming weeks and months?
Yeah, like I like going to Chicago style whenever they're running. I'll go to AAW whenever I can, but a lot of it very much is like I'm a newer name, and so like I myself am not booked, but I know this guy's booked, so I'll get in a car with him and we'll go down and I'll help set up the ring and I'll talk to the promoter and everything, and just
And
it's very much a grind this early on where it's like, hey man, maybe you'll get something, maybe you won't, but you're definitely not going to if you just sit your ass at home all day.
does that get frustrating?
It can, yeah. 100%. There's times where you'll go and like you won't get something, and then like you'll watch the show, and like everyone has a bit of an ego in this business, so you'll watch someone
Yeah.
be like, I could have done better than that. I would have absolutely 100%. Where you're just like, you go to a show, it doesn't happen. You go to a show, it doesn't happen. You're like, man, when am I going to get my chance? But you just got to keep working, and maybe you will, maybe you won't, but just got to be hopeful about it and be optimistic.
Now I know you haven't been in the business for a terribly long time,
Yeah.
but are you proud of yourself that you've made it this far?
Yes and no. I don't really think I have too much to be proud of. It's just like I'm just another dude, and I'm just out
Yeah,
here working and just
but
trying to outwork everyone else and get to where I need to be.
like a lot of times, like I was saying, like I was a little kid, I want to be an astronaut, and I do something that's so far away from being an astronaut. So like, are you at least proud of yourself from like that little kid who like wanted to be a wrestler one day that you're actually doing it?
Yeah, it's like I said, I have my reflective moments, and it's very like sometimes I'll have that where like I'm just sitting down, and I'm like, oh wow, I'm a pro wrestler, I do this, but it's a good feeling for sure.
Do
But
you
I'm
do you still play video
by no means
games?
content. When I can, sometimes, a lot of the times, like maybe once or twice a week, I'll hop on with some of the other Black and Brave guys. We'll play Fortnite for a few hours.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just learned about that. My son plays that a lot. Do you ever play WWE 2K?
Yeah, I bought the last one, you know.
Have you made yourself?
I have not. I have not made myself. No, that sounds like a very long process to do.
I know, but like, have you checked to see if somebody, like a fan, has made one of you?
I have not checked, but I am willing to bet that no, there is not a current created character of me on 2K yet. If anyone out there wants to make one, go ahead.
Well, I'm telling you, I'm gonna give my kids a job this weekend and get one made for you.
Yeah, go ahead. You know.
Yeah, I'll let you know. Like, that'd be great.
Put them kids to work.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ, that's another thing. I just want them out and earning, and it's gonna be such a long time.
Yeah,
we all make life mistakes. Anyways. Can I ask you 5 non-wrestling related questions?
Go for it.
They're just yes or no. You don't have to elaborate if you don't want.
All right.
Okay. Have you ever vomited on an airplane?
No.
Okay. Is there any particular animal that you could skin? Have you ever skinned an animal?
I have. Coming from Idaho, we hunted a lot. I've skinned deer before, so that's a thing I can do and have done.
Have you skinned a rabbit?
I have.
How quickly do you I watch have you heard the show Alone?
I have not heard of the show.
It's on the History Channel. It's like they go and spend months in like Vancouver Island, in the worst conditions, and like, I'll see someone will catch a rabbit. Do you have to skin it right away?
I mean, I imagine. I always have. So I've never just been like, let's, throw it in like a cooler or something, and then later just skin it. Like, might as well skin it. I don't imagine you have to, but I always have.
What was the biggest animal you've taken down?
Just a deer, probably just a deer. Maybe like
ever with your bare hands?
No, not yet. Maybe one day. But
because on this show, one of the seasons, this guy killed a wolverine with his bare hands. Like, he wrestled this thing. It was insane. Okay. You can probably find it on YouTube. Anyways, okay. For $8.2 million, would you only wear yellow colored clothing for the rest of your life? Like the man with the yellow hat from Curious George.
I'm
talking underwear. I'm talking undershirts, socks, hats.
That's a healthy sum of money,
Yeah.
$8.2 million to just wear yellow. There's different shades of yellow, man. You could figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Get 100%. Mustard yellow, bright yellow.
I'll take that money if you got it. Just send it on over.
All right. Done deal. Have you purchased a newspaper in the last 10 years?
No.
Okay. And finally, do you consider Pepperidge Farm Goldfish seafood?
I do not, but they are an incredible snack, and I love them with all my heart.
Yeah, they're so good. Did you like the pizza flavored ones?
I just like the original.
Just like the original.
Straight original. Yeah. Give me that. We're Gucci.
You passed those questions 5 for 5. I'm going to work on rounding up $8.2 million. Might take me a little bit, but I'll get to it. It's good to have goals.
I'll be waiting.
Yeah, totally. I'll know where to find you. Maybe I'll have a couple bucks for you on Saturday, but who knows?
There we go. Get that first start.
Theseus, thank you so much for coming on and giving me your time on this Thursday night. I really appreciate it. I was really looking forward to it. And I'm glad we finally got it done.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun, man. Only took us 3 times to get there.
Yeah, totally.
We got it done. Peel the curtain back. We were supposed to do this like a week or 2 ago, but we finally got
All right,
to
well,
it.
I wish you nothing but the best and success and everything. I'll see you. I'll say hello to you on Saturday evening. But you take care and I continue to find success.
Yeah, thank you, buddy, and you take care too. It was a blast being on.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Take care.
Bye.